Other names.
Is John F. coming?
Yes, he's not. Oh, he told me today he was.
We had something happen. He's on Zoom.
Okay.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Joe.
Hey, John.
Hello, John. I'm here too. Okay. We're in.
Can I have a motion to open the meeting, please? Gary, Regina,
Second motion.
Everybody in favor?
Yes.
All right, can we all stand for the pledge of
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
The reason for this emergency meeting is that prior to this administration or me being inaugurated as mayor on Sunday night, June 30th, we got a letter from our 30-year landlord, Aaron Tachugian, saying that he's evicting the village from his offices. He basically said that the previous administration failed to exercise an option in April, and because they didn't exercise an option to extend the lease, he wants us out forthwith. So after 30 years, he's asking us to leave. I don't know why the prior administration did not protect themselves or the village by exercising an option to stay, but that's the predicament we're in now. So as a result of this, and being served with eviction notice, actually even before I took office, we kind of had to have an emergency meeting to kind of make plans to move. And in order to move, we had to get certain things approved and some budgets approved to expend some money, since I need to have board approval to expend money. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be relocating. I did promise to bring the village offices back to the village. So we are going to be relocating to 914, which is the building next door, which was the former constabulary. And we're going to basically make it work for a temporary situation. And then we'll look at how we can make it more encompassing so the village can have functions there. So it's kind of an immediate step one, and then we will work with the residents and kind of come up with some ideas and some plans. But we really have a kind of a gun to our head, so we kind of have to do this, pretty fast. So I basically have a list of items of things that we kind of need to do kind of in an immediate fashion. And basically we have to bring in a cleaning contractor, which we do have to clean the other constabulary, to kind of do a deep cleaning on the building. We have to bring in an exterminator to exterminate the building. I was told there might be some rodent issues and stuff like that. We have to do some repairs to the deck and the steps so it's safe for us. And then we have to basically buy some furniture, some office equipment, a mailbox, because the post office actually said if we put a mailbox here, they'll actually deliver us the mail during the time they deliver the mail, but we have to actually buy a mailbox and have somebody install the mailbox to do it. Furniture, we want to basically back up all our computers and stuff like that prior to moving, and just making sure. So we'll buy portable storage devices. I found out that the QuickBooks that they have is a 4-year-old version that's no longer supported. So I want to immediately upgrade the version of QuickBooks. So again, I'm trying to secure the village's future for everybody. So those are the kind of some of the basic things. A moving company, and probably actually getting an additional storage facility, because we do have some files in the office that we need to save and we need to scan, which we will be purchasing a scanner, probably not part of this authorization, but we'll get ourselves a high-speed scanner. So this way we can take all the current and future documents and scan them and make sure they're online and in the cloud. And then we'll go backwards with the other documents and all the building records and try to get all that digitized. So our storage needs are limited, but our access will be 24/7. If anybody needs anything, or God forbid there's a natural or a man-made destruction of something, we'll have those records. So that's basically why, the main emphasis of why we're having this meeting tonight. So I'm asking the board to give me a budget not to exceed.
First. It's
Oh,
Before we get there, to like to approving the budget. So with Aram, are we going to have a holdover proceeding? Well, I mean, we can't stay there without doing anything, right? We just hold over, period. There's nothing that we do.
I recommend we talk about that in executive session insofar as
Okay.
it relates to potential litigation.
Okay,
I don't think there's an expectation of staying there any longer than we need to, and hopefully getting out before the end of the month.
you think we can do
well,
that?
we're gonna do what we can to move as reasonably fast as it's comfortable for us. That what we need to do, taking care of our business needs for the village.
I'm just worried because, you know, you can't, I've never been in a situation where if it was a proceeding, if you didn't hold over the right way, you had a problem.
We don't, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, all right,
I
I'm
think,
sorry,
I think
okay.
if you.
Okay,
I think
okay.
I thought Sharon
Okay.
kind of mentioned
Yeah, okay,
earlier
all right.
where things
We
stand,
feel
so.
we're protected from a legal standpoint, we discuss it.
Yes.
And,
Once you're authorized for the money, Erwin can start to make the
Right, okay.
purchases. And then he can employ we're gonna need to connect that with high speed and, things that we need to hook up so that when they move the office, it's seamless, so we don't lose.
and what about the documents that he has? That he's looking for us to get rid of, to get out of there? How does that?
So
do
Gary,
we
one
have
of the
that-
things that we talked about today when we were in the office is where I saw there's a lot of files that what we can do is we can put them into storage and we could work towards digitizing them.
We have a lot of we have very tall 6-foot file cabinets that are like 5-drawer lateral file cabinets. But after discussing with Robin, for the most part, they're rarely used. So we're going to, instead of moving them and then possibly moving them again during a renovation, we're probably going to put them into storage. And that's part of what I was talking about doing basically the scanning and the
Okay.
electronic imaging of those documents. So we have, since those records are not used often, and if we need them, we'll have access to them. They'll be, in West Hampton.
Okay,
And we'll also look at the documents that you don't have to retain because there's limitations on that beyond a certain number of years. So,
but he is housing some important documents,
Oh, 100%.
of maps and.
Well, no, that's that way. You're talking about two separate things. If Aram has documents or maps that he created or a part of the village, that's not in our office, that's in Aram's office. That's a different situation than the files that we're talking about moving. So that has nothing to necessarily do with the move. It's a little bit of a different conversation.
Okay,
So we would have to find that, as Aram had been a consultant to the village, not as a landlord, but Aram putting on his hat as the consultant to the village, he might have materials that were created or paid for by the village that he would have to provide to us, but that's a separate issue than Aram being our landlord.
Right.
The two separate issues. Okay,
okay.
all right. So I'd like to make a motion. Actually, I'd like somebody to make a motion authorizing the mayor to basically obtain quotes based upon the village procurement policy for the goods and services we need for the relocation with a not to exceed amount of
There's two
20.
motions. The first motion is just to authorize you to go out and obtain quotes for the goods and services.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so somebody want to make that
Make a
motion?
motion authorizing the mayor to obtain quotes in accordance with the village's procurement policy for goods and services and not to exceed
No, just period.
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 I second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, now the next motion is, you can make that one too.
Okay, I'd like to make another motion that we relocate the village offices and not expend more than $25,000 in this move.
Yes. And second? All those in favor? Thank you. Okay. Now. I'd like to appoint Robin Santora. We're changing our title from clerk to clerk treasurer for a 2-year term. And so we need a motion to do that, right?
Mayor, it's your
Yeah.
obligation to make
Right, so
make the appointment.
So I make the appointment, but we need a motion approving it?
That's correct.
Okay, so can somebody make a motion to approve?
The motion is written
The
here.
motion is written here. So you want to read it?
Okay,
So motion approving the appointment of Robin Santora as clerk treasurer
okay.
for a 2-year term at an annual salary of $71,000,
I got it.
$71,500.
Second, all those in favor? Okay. I'd also like to appoint Elizabeth Linvet as a part-time deputy clerk treasurer of the village of West Hampton Dunes for a 1-year term. Elizabeth's got about 45 years of municipal experience. She worked the last 20 years as the clerk treasurer for the village of West Hampton Beach. She retired about a day before actually I took my office, and she told us that she'd make herself available with Claire, basically, who is the current treasurer, and obviously looking to leave with, the change of administration and the mayor leaving. We needed to find somebody to replace her. And by Elizabeth having all this experience, she's going to come work for us part-time at an hourly rate, basically equivalent to what she was getting at her previous job. And she'll also work with us to possibly train somebody. It's never been a full-time position. I don't know if it ever will be a full-time position, but she'll work with us to train somebody in the future that will take over for her, so we can move forward with having. So it's a very unique thing being in government finance. It's totally different than, the regular accounting world or the CPA world, and certain things are done a lot differently. So it's kind of a unique skill. So it's not like we can, just hire somebody off the street that would know how to do this. It's a very unique skill set, and there's things that are almost, as we were discussing today with the accountant, counterintuitive to how normal accounting goes in the commercial world as to what has to be done in the government world. So it's important that we have somebody who really has the experience, and we're fortunate that Elizabeth actually has the experience to basically, take us forward. We have to. We're going to be making our first payroll next week, and there's a lot of transitions that we lost. Usually there's a continuity of government, but by losing the mayor and the treasurer, we were left with Robin, who's been here for a year, and she's been doing a great job, helping me, but she only has limited experience, and the whole knowledge base of the village kind of left. So it's important that we find somebody who's got a great knowledge base, who ran a village that was 6 times our size, that can help us with this thing. So that's why basically we interviewed a few candidates, Howard and I, Howard's my financial guy, and she answered every question, and she knows how to come and hit the ground running. So that's why we're doing this, and I'd like somebody to make a motion to do this.
Motion approving the appointment of Elizabeth Lindet as part-time deputy clerk treasurer for a 1-year term at a rate of pay of $65 an hour.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to add, one thing. I'd like to give a heartfelt thanks to Claire for all the years of service that she gave to the village. And also I'd like to express our sympathy for her recent loss of her father. And, we're very heartbroken to hear that, and our prayers are with her, and I hope that her and her family are doing well. Yeah, somebody like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second? All those in favor?
Can you just announce when the next meeting is? Because it's like.
Sure. Our first official formal meeting this was the emergency meeting, will be Friday night, July 19th at 7:30 p.m. It'll be here. It'll be a regular meeting with, a full agenda, public comments, people have any questions, issues, etc. Probably we will be talking about one of the things I wanted to do, and unfortunately I couldn't do it in time for this meeting, is we want to improve the technology for the meeting, because I'd like to have screens that, one, the board can see who's on Zoom, but 2, the audience can see who's on Zoom, and also the audience can see any of the questions in the chat. I find it very awkward. I don't know who's in the meeting. You don't know who's in the meeting. So we'll get a couple of screens to do that. We'll get some better technology and stuff. So we'll probably work on some type of a budget or some type of a range to get that approved at the next meeting, and hopefully by the first meeting in August, we'll be able to have that so everybody can participate and participate better. That's, another one of my goals for the village. I thank you all for coming. If anybody would like to speak to me or anybody else after the meeting, I'm not going anywhere.
The shortest meeting ever.
That good? It's good.
25 years.
We hope it stays that way.
Thank you.
We need it.
Are we also, did you close the Zoom?
I'm not,
Oh.
I'm gonna
Excuse
end it
me,
right.
Robin and Erwin. It's Catherine
Yes.
Wolfson.
Oh, hi, Catherine.
Hi there. Welcome to the new board. We're very excited about this refreshment and this new chapter in the village's history. I just wanted to mention, just for everyone's record, and I know you know this, but the BBPA is very open and accepting to these transitions happening, and we are welcoming it. But I just want to let you know, let the public know in case they're curious, there is nothing that's formalized or ironed out yet. We are in the process of doing that. So yes, we are welcome and open to the village utilizing 914 as the village hall and as the space. But there are still details being worked out. So there is nothing concrete as of this moment of this meeting. I just wanted to make sure people are aware of that in case the audience had any concerns how this would have happened so quickly without the BBPA speaking to it. So I just wanted to get that on the record. And I also just had one question. So will Elizabeth be training Robin, or does Robin already have training as a treasurer? I was just out of just curiosity.
Yes and no. Robin does not have training as a treasurer. Elizabeth is going to be giving Robin extra training to probably show her some of the treasurer duties, but also some of the clerk duties. But Robin's still primarily going to function as the clerk.
Okay, I was just curious. I wanted to just get that clarified for me. And obviously the accountant is still connected, even though Claire is no longer going to be with us. Our accountant and the auditors are still in place.
There's a third-party accountant that does an audit every year, and we're
Right.
working on getting that done. Unfortunately, it wasn't done for the previous year, and that's something that's a top priority for us.
Something else. Understood. Okay, thank you for that. I
And the
appreciate it.
accountant, she met with us today also, and she'll be available if we need her for anything going forward. But
You
know,
mean Charlene you're referencing, I'm presuming?
yeah, Charlene was there today, and she was very helpful in terms of what we need to do to move forward. She said she was doing things that probably we could start doing in-house, and she was very happy to relinquish those responsibilities to us.
For clarification, there's Charlene, who is an accountant who worked with Claire to do some of the treasurer's functions, but also there's an outside third-party accountant that does an audit. So I just want to be clear that
Yes.
and the goal is to have all this done in-house between Robin and the Liz, and then have, of course, a third-party accountant that does the audit. So that's what our intention is.
I'd like to make a comment too, that Howard's expertise has kicked in from day one, and he really jumped all over this and has been in there working and making lists and interviewed people to get the right skills and the right requirements. And Elizabeth was just a very fortunate find, and, government functions differently than the corporate world. So we're learning a lot from her, but I have very high confidence level in Howard working with Robin and Elizabeth to keep us on the right track and maybe improve things, because in a little I've seen, I've been involved in other things that I'm working on. It's very efficient, very organized and thorough.
Really good to hear. Thanks for that update.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
Did anybody else?
Yeah, Benay Digia, she wants to know if it's possible to have meetings on weeknights instead of Friday night.
Yes, I guess you didn't see at the organizational meeting, we switched the meeting nights after the summer. We wanted to keep the summer tradition since people are out here, but starting in September, we're going to be having the meetings on Thursday nights so people don't have to give up their Friday nights. And we're also going to start them at 6 o'clock, so it's not going too late at night. So that's the meeting schedule was published, and if you need a copy, I'm sure Robin will be happy to send you a copy. But basically, we're moving to Thursday nights going forward in September at 6 p.m.
I think it's also our intention to put more information out before the meeting so that people can review it along with the agenda and know what the meeting's going to contain and say, and have their questions ready so that we can move the meetings down to an hour from 3. So,
Right. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so a motion to re-adjourn the meeting? Thank you, everybody.
thanks, everybody.
And like I said, if you have any questions you want to ask me, I'm available.
When you improve the lighting. That's
Oh, yes, thank you, Rob. Yes, absolutely.